Justin Gibbs here at the National Weather Service in Paducah with the team. It is 10 minutes till 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, February 18th, is it? The winter storm that is taking aim on the region. Moving in from the west, everything's pretty much going according to the forecast. There's light snow beginning to form up over parts of southern Illinois and south central Missouri. This is sort of a preview of coming attractions. A lot of this is not making it to the ground. It's very cold and very dry near the surface. We're seeing occasionally this will come through in bursts. We've seen some snow around Mount Vernon and Centralia, Illinois overnight, and we expect to see bursts of snow through the overnight hours. But the main show is back here over Kansas and Oklahoma. Actually, this is kind of a signal of the forcing starting to really increase over Oklahoma. Those returns on radar. Overall thinking has not really changed much over the course of the last 24 hours. Early this morning, a little bit of snow, Perry County, Missouri, and then southern Illinois, north of Route 13, Evansville and Owensboro. We're thinking up to about an inch of snow through 9 or 10 in the morning. And then there'll be a little bit of a breath, and then the main wave will get started. Winter storm warnings for everywhere in the Quad State region except for Jefferson, Wayne, Edwards, and Wabash, and Pike and Gibson counties in Indiana, where winter weather advisories are in effect. Just a little less snow forecast in that region. Winter storm warning means 4 inches or more of snow, and that seems like if you want to get technical, it means an 80% chance or higher of 4 inches of snow. And we feel like there's definitely an 80% or higher chance. Will be impacts to travel across the region. Snow will fall heavily at times, especially even with the snowfall rates that are possible. It'll be hard for the crews to keep things scraped off, even off some of the major roads. The treatment will help, but it's just hard to keep up with when it snows this hard and it's this cold. It's going to be quite cold. We do have a little bit of advantage. I guess the ground temperatures are still just a touch warm because it's been warmer, but it's going to get cold very quickly and stay cold. The overall change from 12 hours ago when we did this, very small increases in snowfall totals, not really enough to worry about. I'll move that moved everything, and to just move me. Just turn me off for a minute here. You don't, well, it's 4:30 in the morning, that's what happens. All right, here is the headline. Moving at the forecast snowfall totals. So officially, if you say how much snow are we going to get, it is 6 to 10 inches across Wayne County, Missouri, Ballinger County, 5 to 8 inches Cape Girardeau, Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and then 5 to 8 inches around Paducah, 4 to 7 Madisonville, Marion, and then less you can see right along Interstate 64. The forcing there that we're seeing in Oklahoma, we're just showing you, we expect that to kind of align best right over sort of the central part of our area of responsibility. So you may see a little less at Murray, a little more Paducah, and there's going to be banded snowfall, so that always results in slightly different snowfall accumulations in one area to the next. So your neighbor probably won't get much different, but the town over could get a little bit more, a little bit less. Bottom line, though, at this type of snowfall rate, it's going to be impactful. We're not looking at, a couple of inches here to where it isn't a big deal and it doesn't cause you any trouble in one place, and then your neighbor ends up getting a whole lot more snow. This is going to be a pretty big deal for everybody. Let me get my graphic to where it'll actually show up on the page. There we go. Snowfall ranges, so probably more than this. 1 to 2 inches in Evansville, 5 inches Poplar Bluff, 4 inches. So 90% chance or higher of more snow than this, and then 90% chance of less snow than this is 10, 11 inches. The snow ratios, which is the amount of snow that is produced by for every little tenth of an inch of liquid that you get, is going to be quite high. So we're thinking that we could see quite a bit of snow even from not that much moisture. Step forward in our timing. Move myself once again here. Oh, golly. There we go. 12 to 2 p.m. across southeast Missouri, 2 to 5 p.m. across southern Illinois, the purchase area of western Kentucky, 4 to 7 p.m. across the Penny Mile region and southwest Indiana. And we expect things that will be getting a little bit more impactful. Doesn't mean that there won't be any snow falling before this, but by this is when we start to think impacts will begin to be felt. you'll start to see those travel issues develop, and you'll see the roadways getting slick and things like that. That should be in this window. The overall travel impact, we've got it as, I'd say it'll probably be somewhere moderate to major. Hazardous driving conditions, closures and disruptions to infrastructure will occur, to widespread closures and disruptions. Probably for this region, it's going to be a little more along the major, especially in pockets. There will be pockets where we see major impacts across the region. The snow character, just something folks worry about for power infrastructure. It's going to be kind of a dry snow, which also means that we're going to see a lot of blowing snow potentially tonight. That'll lead to snow drifts, and we'll see increases in, you'll see snow that's fairly light in some areas and then piles up against buildings and against like the barriers on roadways and stuff like that. It ends up being quite a bit heavier than what it was in other places. Another thing that's very important with this snowstorm is the exceptional cold snap. It's not going to be above freezing anywhere in this area until Saturday, and it's going to be well below freezing Thursday and Friday. We've got single-digit lows everywhere. Wind chills, a little extra cold front just for good measure coming through Thursday into Friday. We're going to have wind chills dipping below zero across that area. So extended periods below freezing, sufficient to strain infrastructure and to be dangerous to those without adequate shelter. We'll look real quick at the wind chills too. You can see Wednesday into Thursday rather. We've got wind chills -8, -9. That's the coldest that we've seen this season. In the previous cold snaps, we got down close to zero, but this is colder than what we got with that. And this is, 5-6 days below freezing, which we've come close to once this year, but it's still really not that common for this part of the world to see lows, highs below freezing, and the temperatures remain below freezing for 24, 48 hours or more. Here's a little bit more look at the timing. So this is at noon. I think it'll be a little faster than this. The peak of the event is what I wanted to show you. That is from about 5 p.m. to about 10 p.m. to midnight. And then by early in the morning on Wednesday, things are starting to taper off and improve just a little bit. But that area right there is what we'll be watching once this kind of meets up over Kansas. Some of the lift that we've got, it's going to continue to track off to the east, will be impacting us by early this morning or mid-morning in SEMO, by around early afternoon to late afternoon in western Kentucky and southern Illinois, southwest Indiana, and the Pennyroyal region of western Kentucky will be a little bit later. We're thinking 4 to 8 inches everywhere, and like I said, we'll show you the map, and you can say, oh, well, you've got 5 here, 6 here, 8 here. Yeah, because it's a 17-to-1 snow ratio. So the specifics of exactly when and where everything is going to get is, it's essentially impossible to get it within an inch with this type of snow, or really any type of snow, because you've got 10 and 17-to-1 error ratios. That's why we've got medium to high for our amounts. Our confidence is high that you're going to see impactful amounts. Confidence is always going to be a little bit low with snowfall forecasting as far as exactly how much is going to fall in your backyard, and when you measure it, and it's going to drift and do all kinds of weird things. So we'll have somebody to be like, I've got 16 inches of snow, and it's just where it's drifted and stuff like that. But it's still 16 inches of snow where it doesn't belong. So it can be a little bit impactful. Snow's coming. We do still have areas of flooding across the region, so be careful because the rivers now are kind of at their capacity. So the tributaries that are flowing into it that are flooded aren't really draining like they were, because everything's kind of at capacity. We don't expect that this is going to significantly impact our flooding situation. It's really only about 0.3 of an inch of actual rain. So we had 6 inches of rain, 6 inches of liquid water basically across a broad area. This is going to be more like 0.3 of an inch of liquid water across a broad area. So let's just be grateful that it wasn't much colder over the weekend, or we would have really been in trouble beyond what we were already. So everyone stay warm, stay safe. Probably plan your travel to not be traveling on tonight if you can, or have your kits and things ready for travel, because it'll be dangerous tonight because it's going to be very, very cold, and you're going to be blowing snow, reduction in visibility, and all that fun stuff. So everyone stay safe tonight, and we'll keep you updated as the day progresses.